Gohan Beast finally arrives in the Dragon Ball Super manga, and it's glorious. I was actually blown away by how good these panels of Gohan Beast look. Wow. Toyotaro did a fantastic job in this chapter depicting the raw power of this character and his new transformation, although sometimes his hair does look a little bit crazy, other times it looks better than others. And in this video, I want to compare how did the manga do versus the movie. By this time, we've all seen the Dragon Ball Super superhero movie in which Gohan achieves his Gohan Beast form and takes out Cell with a Makanko Sappo, which, by the way, he is powering up at the end of this chapter. So unfortunately, this is not the end of the movie. In the manga version, there still will be another chapter or two, but next chapter we'll get Gohan's Makanko Sappo and Cell Max will be defeated. Toyotaro went all out in this chapter, just giving us great detail and volume. In terms of the art, I thought it was one of the better chapters we've gotten here from the Dragon Ball Super manga. I was actually pleasantly surprised, and seeing as how Gohan Beast is potentially the strongest in the entire universe right now, let's go ahead and talk about it. By this point, we've all seen the Dragon Ball Super superhero movie, and although the Gohan transformation was the highlight of the film, there's something about reading a manga that allows your brain to kind of imagine the fight going down and be animated in your head. There's some mystery about looking at a manga page versus watching the animation that leaves room for your brain to interpret the fight and the combat. And in this chapter, looking at the manga panels of Gohan Beast go on a complete rampage, I liked it a lot more than the movie. First of all, Gohan just looks great. I mean, when you make his outfit black and his hair white, he looks badass, dude. I just enjoyed it a lot better. So by this point in the Dragon Ball Super manga, Piccolo has already achieved his orange Piccolo form, and he's taking on Cell Max, who is rampaging after growing into a giant so that he can compete with Cell's size, although Piccolo even says that just because I'm bigger doesn't mean I'll be stronger. And as we see in this chapter, I mean, my boy Piccolo gets completely beaten into a pulp. Classic Piccolo, hold him off, take a crazy beating while Gohan charges up. Now he's telling Gohan, don't jump in until you've achieved a power even stronger than Cell. Keep charging up, and I didn't really get this vibe too much in the movie, but I really got the vibes here of Goku powering up his Super Saiyan 3 while Vegeta held off Buu. I don't know why that is, but I definitely felt it here more in the manga in terms of like nostalgia. In any case, Piccolo, my god, there's like 40-50 panels of this guy getting pummeled into a mashed up tomato, and you gotta feel for him at this point. But Piccolo is able to return the blows on Cell Max, although not inflicting nearly as much damage as Cell Max is doing to Piccolo. And I guess it's because Cell Max can't control his power, because it seems like all of the characters can jump in. Sometimes they can't do anything to him, and sometimes they can really hurt him. So it seems like his power is fluctuating quite a bit. Gohan is just standing here powering up, watching Piccolo get his ass beat, but he's failing to raise his ki and his ultimate form strong enough to beat Cell Max. And we obviously know what's going to happen next. Piccolo's going to keep fighting until it looks like he actually just died, and that is going to send Gohan completely off the rails. Something about this chapter just gives me way more nostalgia and hype than the movie did, and I think it's just simply because the movie was in CG. And growing up with this story, both looking at the comics and watching Dragon Ball Z, that's a kind of information that our brains enjoy more. Like when we see the 2.5D, it's like it's Dragon Ball, but it's like missing the magic, I think, for a large majority of the fan base. Now, seeing it here in manga form, though, I think it regains that magic. And I felt it looking at this chapter. I got excited for the first time in like a year. I got really excited about Dragon Ball. It's cool seeing Gohan Beast with this much power. We got a lot of panels of him. Like, it wasn't just a few panels, it's more than half the chapter. And to see the lightning on him, you know, standing in front of Cell, it felt like I was reading Dragon Ball Z for a second again. So here in the manga, Gohan is finally transforming. Now for the transformation itself, I gotta give it to the movie. It was just longer, there's more, you can feel the power and the sound effects. The transformation here was just kind of like a flash of light and boom, Gohan has the new form, which it was for Ultra Ego Vegeta too. It was like pretty just one panel change. So maybe for Ultra Ego Vegeta, we'll get like a longer transformation in the anime. Hopefully we get that. Yeah, transformation itself, super short, but then we get a couple really cool shots of Gohan, and then we pretty much go straight into the fighting as Cell charges in, punches him, and it does absolutely nothing. And again, if you take a look at these panels and like kind of how dynamic they are, like even though these shots are very similar to the movie, it just feels better in the manga. Like it feels stronger. And I think when Cell punches Gohan, also, it was done better in the movie, but other than that, I think that's it. I think otherwise, everything else was done better in the manga. And, that's just subjective personal opinion. It doesn't really matter too much, but I did want to kind of just compare how they provided these two scenes in both a manga form and a movie, which you don't really see too often in the anime industry. And it's very peculiar as to why they're wasting so much time retelling the entire movie in manga form when they didn't do it for Broly. And it's very frustrating to a lot of fans because we want fresh, new content. Like this entire year has just been retelling the movie instead of just giving us a new villain. But we should get the new arc and the new villain starting in December. So probably Jump Festa will have more information about the next arc, whatever it is. And that will lead us into Dragon Ball Daima next year. Now, they haven't explained anything about Gohan Beast. Like Akira Toriyama gave us some words about him, just saying I named him Gohan Beast because I always thought there was like a beast inside him. But we don't have any real explanation for what this form is or why. Is he the strongest in the universe, like the Oracle Fish was saying, or is that Black Frieza? We just know the simple fact that not only did Cell Max, who was owning everybody, not even be able to flinch Gohan Beast from a massive punch, but he also died in one hit. So Gohan Beast, probably the strongest in the universe. If not, it's Black Frieza, but they could really use the opportunity leading into the next arc to explain these forms a little bit more, because I think fans are pretty transformation drunk, especially when you give the character a new form and you just don't explain it at all, which is, I think, one of the reasons that people liked Ultra Instinct and Super Saiyan God so much over Blue. Blue wasn't really explained that much and never really felt that strong, but we got a lot of detail, about Ultra Instinct, more than pretty much any of his other God forms. Fans enjoy that kind of data. Like, I just wish that they would explain it and not just give him a new form and be like, hey, look, Gohan has a new form. Don't ask why. Don't inquire about his name. Just go watch it. So Toriyama has had plenty of time to think, and hopefully he can write us an explanation as to what this form is out of Gohan. I mean, is it his final form? Is it stronger than Ultra Instinct? It appears to be so. Does it have any other abilities besides raw power and Makanko Sapo? Give us something that we can get excited about. I hope so. It's a great opportunity here. Finish up this arc. Tell us more about Gohan Beast. Get him involved in some fights. Go have him fight Black Frieza. Please, hopefully we get a Gohan Beast versus Black Frieza in the next arc. It's very possible it could be the Black Frieza arc. Knowing them over at Dragon Ball, they're gonna, redo the Namek arc, but with Black Frieza now or something like that. Goku will get the Rainbow Super Saiyan and become the actual real strongest in the universe. And then we'll just wash, rinse, and repeat. It was a very nice art chapter, and it was pretty cool to see Gohan Beast go ham. I mean, I like the design. In manga form, I think it looks very cool. And I'd love to see it in anime form too, just not CGI, personal preference. So we'll have to see. Let's give it another chapter or two, and we'll find out about the new arc. And I'm pretty pumped for that because us Dragon Ball fans be starving for some fresh villains.